Well, fans, we have Grant Seacrest who put some numbers together talking about the pros and cons of what transpired in that first half. Union Endicott, opportunistic, where was able to recover a blocked extra point try and in the process returned the ball to the 10, and that ultimately set up their only score of the game. Raiders came back to break the deadlock. We're sitting at a 14-7 mark, and right now it would almost seem that the Horseheads is putting a lot of importance on this game, even though they know they are in the playoffs. In fact, Union Endicott will have a playoff game next week as well, Rance.
Yeah, so the only thing you really could say about Union Endicott is they're winning special teams because they got that blocked field goal. But the Horseheads defense is certainly dominating, holding the Tiger offense to just 42 yards of total offense. And they themselves have 158 yards and 12 first downs. Jack Chalk doing it on 2 completions through the air for 33 yards, as well as on the ground. He has 43 yards to go with Noah Bosket's 36. So the Raiders are certainly getting it done. They deferred in the first half, so they will go on offense first here in the second half.
All right, so as Kevin Hogan's squad looks to turn the ball or provide the ball for Horseheads, here's that onside kick attempt, and it actually got through one of the secondary men who was able to recover quick enough to pick up the ball and down it at the 25-yard line. So that's where Chalk and company, Jack Chalk, as we drop names here in this ball game, will start things off. The weather, I don't know. It really hasn't been too much of a factor in this game so far. Fortunately, while there might have been a few, shall we say, solitary sprinkles at the during the pregame ceremony, we haven't been hit with any rain, knock on wood. So anyways, here we go. Chalk with Felinchek in motion, keeper by Chalk. He sees a hole on the left side, and on a diagonal, will take it on a slant to about a 5-yard pickup short of the 30-yard line. So, you know, you were making a comparison or doing some comparisons between the play of the graduated senior from last year in Clark and now Chalk as a junior quarterback. You know, what Clark didn't possess as far as running, Chalk has been able to do so. And now a sweep near side, Brian Smith, contained at the 30-yard line. It actually looks to be about maybe a 1.5-yard pickup, so it brings up third down.
Right, so Brian Smith getting an opportunity here today and has 3 carries in this game. Trying to use his speed. He's very fast, trying to get him outside and to the edge. And we'll see if they come back to Bosket or Clay Wood on the inside. But so far it's been the Chalk show on offense.
Well, the Clark that I was referring to was Ben Clark, not Andrew Clark, who they've used as a receiver. And I don't see Andrew in the game at the present time. Yes, I do. Far side of the field. There's a carry by Chalk. Boy, I'll tell you what, he has really been picking his routes and finds his way to first down territory just short of midfield.
Well, that 18-yard run is going to put Chalk at 65 yards rushing and give Horseheads their first down of the second half. He did a great job. He had Clay Woods, fullback, out in front of him, and he actually grabbed right a hold of the back of his jersey, showing some real experience type running.
All right, well, this is one of the things that they like so much about Chalk. He may not essentially be the so-called Iron Man, a poster boy for that, like Ben Clark may have been his 2-3 seasons on varsity. But Chalk is definitely displaying some great talent out there. Here's the snap back to Chalk. We have a flag that was thrown.
1-yard run by
well, the Raiders misaligned on that play, so that's going to be a penalty against them. There was a little confusion. Chalk was trying to get Bobby Patchen to go over to the left side, and when he did, then Andrew Clark stepped off the line of scrimmage. So they had only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. That's going to be a penalty against the Raiders.
A little diplomacy out there, and the flag picked up by Tyler Rogan. Hands it to the official. I wonder if that'll count for points.
That'll make it first down.
Probably not.
15.
Speaking of injuries, Tyler Rogan's been nursing an injury to his left hand. He has it wrapped quite a bit here today, but he's been playing with that this would be the third game with that injury.
Well, the Raiders have been playing without Jesse Wintermute in the offensive scheme. This will be a running play, and not much room for Clay Wood to maneuver.
1 yard run by Clay Wood.
And works his way to about the 44-yard line. And as far as numbers are concerned out there for the Horseheads Blue Raiders, it'll be a second down, but they've got a ways to go, 2nd and 14. And now, do we have another flag? Yes, another procedure call.
Against the Blue Raiders.
And Horseheads racking up the negative yardage right now as we begin the second half.
Yeah, certainly not a very strong start here for the Raiders in the second half.
So as they tack on another penalty of 5 yards,
That'll make it
that
first and 20.
moves it back to about the 39-yard line. So first and long. So about 20 yards, 19, 20 yards to pick up. Here's the keeper for Chalk. He's hit once and a second time, and it was a second hit delivered by Kevin Every
2-yard run by
that
quarterback Jack
stopped his
Chalk.
forward progress. So they place the ball on the 40-yard line and brings up a second down.
Tackled by
Is that about a
Abby
1-yard pickup or no gain at all?
Second down and 18. From the
2
Horseheads
yards.
40.
Well, they went to the well one time too many there. We'll see if they change it up here or stick with Chalk trying to take the ball between the tackles.
Brian Smith wide, far side. Near side is Felinchek. In the backfield, Clay Wood. And from the shotgun formation, Chalk's got room. He fires the ball. Intercepted. Picked up at the midfield mark. And racing with the ball is Jaden Whittingham. And he returns the ball across the 35 down to the 33-yard line of Horseheads. So that's the first time that Chalk has been picked off. And in the process, actually going to give a first down to the Raiders, or excuse me, first down for the Tigers. And, you know, this seems eerily, similar to what we saw in a comeback attempt by UE against Elmira.
I knew that's what was coming, Bob. I was thinking the same thing, that UE's coming out of the locker room ready to go. They need to remember what happened in Elmira.
All right, so Kevin Hogan, and he turns around and he hands to Every, and Every is brought down by Clay Wood. Had some help out there by Jesse Wintermute. Wintermute playing defense today, so he doesn't have to hit as much or take as many hits as if he were running out of the fullback for Horseheads. But it brings up second down, and that'll be second down and about 8. The ball at the 33, call it the 32-yard line of Horseheads.
So that time the linebackers doing a nice job reading their keys and filling those gaps in a hurry and shutting UE down. The defense, again, is going to be tested here at their own end of the field. They need to step up as the offense came up short that time.
Kevin Hogan a little confused out there in terms of what play Coach Bellino wants them to run. So as he signaled to the sideline, finally Coach Bellino says, yeah, we better take a timeout. So water breaks all the way around for both teams. Kevin Hillman is out there with his team of Horseheads Blue Raiders. Want to remind you, Friday night we'll be in Binghamton for a semifinal game. That'll pit the Corning Hawks against the Binghamton Patriots. Patriots get the 2 seed, Hawks get the 3 seed. Am I correct on that? All right. And then, of course, the top seed is Elmira, and they will play host to these same Raiders. And you made a remark, I think, a comment that during the halftime, as we were chatting off microphone, about the Horseheads Raiders coming out and looking a whole bunch better than they did last time.
Well, certainly defensively they're showing they've done a nice job on UE here today. UE, we've seen when we covered them this year that they have a pretty productive offense, and the Horseheads defense has stepped up today, so maybe the defense is ready to play against Elmira next week.
Kevin Every in the tailback position or a fullback position, and rolling to the right is Hogan, and he will overthrow his intended receiver out on the far sideline. That was Dom Fenton. So it's an incompleted pass. And we'll come back once more with the ball at the 32 of Horseheads, setting up a 3rd and 9.
So Hogan 1 for 5 on the day. Of course, the one pass play was a negative 3-yard pass play. But that wind, we said there's no moisture really today, so that's held off. But this wind is wreaking havoc on the passing game for both quarterbacks.
Wide receiver is Mike Reagan. Near side, as a man goes in motion, that is Hogan. And, boy, I'll tell you what, that had disaster written all over it, but the Raiders' defense was strong as we, last second, got a pitch. It was juggled. The Raiders were able to make the tackle, but it's also a loss on the play, and Horseheads will get the ball on downs. Excuse me, it'll bring 4th and long.
So nice defensive play there. Cameron Monks with the pressure on Hogan, and then Tyler Rogan finishing the deal. We just talked about how Rogan's got that left hand all wrapped up. Could possibly be broken or very close to it, but he's been playing through the pain. The senior trying to make it happen here today. Nice play by Rogan.
Love the play on names, Rogan and Hogan. And speaking of the latter, which is Kevin Hogan, now at the quarterback. Looks, little screen pass, it's dropped, and the Raiders will get the ball in pretty good field position in their own territory.
Yeah. So it looks like they're going to be at about the 37-yard line. So UE not able to do anything with that possession either, and all of a sudden the Raiders will be right back on offense following the UE interception.
Got to give a lot of credit to these young athletes out here, braving the elements on the 22nd day of October. And I have a few friends who have been holding off turning on their furnaces in their homes with the thought that maybe things would warm up a little bit, but certainly not the case on the field today. All right, Chalk at quarterback. Felinchek in motion. Keeper by Chalk, and they've got him. He had to eat that football and dropped at the 35-yard line. So he'll lose about 3 yards on the carry. Maruno made the stop for UE. Bosket comes out of the game now for the Raiders. Felinchek will remain. Clark is also in there. And here's Clay Wood bringing the play from the sideline. A little bit late, but nonetheless, he gets there. Fans want to remind you, coming up here very shortly, we'll be back on scene for Elmira College men's hockey, women's hockey, men's and women's basketball, and Scholastic before too long. All right, Chalk will wait the last minute to Clark in a crowd. Throws not even a screen pass, but that was probably, help me out, Andrew, type pass, and Clark couldn't hold it in the midst of a crowd of orange and black.
So the UE Tiger defense has come out of the locker room, with the exception of the 18-yard rush by Chalk on the second carry of this half. They have done a nice job starting to slow down this Raiders offense.
Well, you're looking at 3rd and 11 at the Raider 36. They can't help themselves to get out of their own territory. Felinchek in the slot. Clark to the near side. Out of the shotgun formation, Chalk. Ryan Smith in motion. Chalk looking for a receiver. A little screen pass. Toss, but it's underthrown to Bobby Patchen. And we'll bring up 4th down now.
So they try to run a little slip screen to Patchen out on the left side. Chalk now 2 for 10 in this game. He has thrown an interception as well and a touchdown pass to Felinchek, but not a productive set there again. So apparently we had a flag on the play, another procedure against the Raiders, which will be declined by Coach Bellino. So we will move on to 4th down and a punting situation for the Raiders.
Clark back at his 25-yard line. And here's the blitz. It's a booming kick and nobody downfield. And it's going to roll dead at the 22-yard line where it will be touched and downed by Brandon Ellis.
No return.
Well, a stiff breeze here at Horseheads, blowing from the north.
34.
With 6:16 to go, and looking into that win will be Devin Hogan and the Tigers.
22.
Well, Union Endicott still with only 2 first downs in this game, so they're looking to get things going. We've seen them be productive when they played Elmira. We'll see if they can get things started here from their own 22.
Senior quarterback Hogan trying to mix it up a little bit. Little misdirection handoff and a sweep to the right side. Did they pick up some yardage? Yes, they did, about 5 yards. So it'll bring up second down, actually a 6-yard gain. So it'll be 2nd and 4. And that ball marked at the 28-yard line.
2nd and 4.
Ellis on the stop for the Raiders, under 6 minutes to go. And we have a receiver out to the near side. This will be Tyler Merkel. Hogan looks to his left side, takes a snap, running play, sweep, and Steele Pierce making an adjustment. And he works his way to the 30, not enough for the first down. So probably about 1 yard short. Let's call it 3rd and 1. And the ball at the 31-yard line of Union Endicott. They trail 14-7 in the game. We're in the 3rd quarter on RLM Sports WBLM and Big Fox TV. Once again, ball is bobbled, but I believe and dropped, and it looks like UE did recover the ball. It'll be a loss of a couple of yards, so it brings up 4th down. Just when you think that they've got it and it's moving to perfection.
Yeah, they had a little mix-up in the backfield. It was pretty clear that Hogan thought the running back was going to go in front of him, yet the running back went behind him. Hogan tried to pivot and get him the ball, but unable to do so without putting it on the field. So the Raiders' defense, again, comes up with a stop.
Well, I watched Tommy Bellino on the far side rant. Sorry to interrupt you there. And he does have a few more comments for his boys, but here's the punt.
Just a lack of focus there.
Wynn holds it up. It takes a roll. And Boskett will field it, running past several defenders and makes his way to midfield. We actually had 2 Union Endicott players run into one another. One is down and sprawling, and it looks like he's favoring his left ankle, and that would be Marcus Basel. So the trainer out there to look things over. There's a break in the action, and we'll step aside for a moment. You're listening and watching high school football on RLM Sports.